Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video. Today I am on my forever world and I have many updates to share with you guys because I did some things off screen and on a recent YouTube and Twitch stream, which if you don't know, I do stream on both platforms and I have the links to those, well, to my Twitch in the description of every video if you want to check those out whenever I go live. Besides that, I did many things and I'm going to do even more things today and I'm very excited to share more about it because I have a lot to talk about. Let's just jump right into today's Forever World episode. First things first, this is the state of the house. I have done major renovations because I quickly needed more space and I also grew tired of the color palette, whatever the heck it was, and I changed it a lot. I kind of have a better idea of what I want this area to look like. If you noticed or haven't, I have started naming villages that has waystones after different villages from Zelda, but my area is actually named after an island in Game of Thrones, and it is Driftmark. This was the house seat of House Valerian, or Valarian, whichever way you want to say it, and my plans are to kind of create I wouldn't say a one-to-one replica of Driftmark, but something like it. We're going to have moats and boats and a hold and a castle and a docking area and things like that. And this side where I reside will be the quote-unquote countryside. As you can see, I have already started on placing where I want my next build to be, and it's actually going to be a storage house, but I'm going to make the color palette a bit more darker, a bit more medieval themed. This is always a style I gravitate towards, and that's because I absolutely love the medieval ages, and I absolutely love dragons and anything high fantasy. It is my thing. So this area will be reminiscent of Driftmark. I'm going to make it very shore heavy. So I will be doing lots of terraforming around the shore part, making boats in the water. I think it's going to be so much fun. The only time I built a boat was on the Crafted series, and we were doing the Pufferpalooza event. And I really liked how that boat turned out, so I'm going to try and make maybe an even bigger boat and a couple of small ones over here. I really would like to focus on getting my area sorted out before making plans for maybe not a big castle, but a decent sized castle, and I'm going to place it over here. I'm going to try and connect it to this smaller island because I feel like this would be good for a small village to kind of reside, and I can get some villagers from different areas. There's some over here, the lily pad village. I could probably get some villagers from there, maybe take two and just breed them up. And I'm going to make a small village over here. And the castle or hold will be over here, and then the dock will be along this beach, and I will have my own dock as well. Right now, I just have a mineshaft area, which I think I'm just going to keep it there. And I have to do some filling in of the terrain here because there's a giant like cave entrance over here. But maybe I could turn it into like a dungeon once I get some things built up. I digress. Today, I'm going to be finishing up the details on my house, and I'm going to explain what I started to do over here. And since I'm already heading over in this direction, I'll just do that right now. So I started doing some sort of terraforming, lots of moss and stone blocks in this area. I am going to build a storage house. I'm going to leave the inspiration up on the screen once I actually start building it up because I still have to gather quite a few resources and whatnot, and that might take a while, but for now I did map out the base of it and the size that I'm trying to go for. It's going to have a simple front entrance, and it's going to have a back entrance that will lead out to hopefully some more fields that I plan to put over here, but there is a lot of terrain that needs filling in maybe, so I might not even do anything in the back of here yet. I do know that in the front of the build, I want to put a wheat field because going back over to my house, this is what the back looks like now. And I want to have a bigger farm area. And since this is technically the countryside that I've decided it would be, I would like giant wheat fields framing literally everywhere. And obviously other crops as well for my own resources. And it's going to just be all in my backyard. And I think I want to build a small barn for some of the animals that I have so far. somewhere in this area. Still trying to figure that out. I figured I needed a storage house first though, because I'm going to be acquiring a lot of materials for many things and I need a lot more space than I do now. Now I can talk about what I've been doing for this house. So I decided to change the bottom of the house into a more stone texture, and I used the classic moss and dirt roof that I really like and I pretty much always use in my starter homes. I went back to spruce roof trims because I did not like how it looked last time, and I did not like the stone roof. It just wasn't. Maybe it would have looked better if I had like moss and mossy cobblestone, but it didn't look nice to me. This is how I expanded it, and I really love how it looks. If you go inside, everything is kind of the same. I still kept the floors, and this area is pretty much the same except it's stone walls. This is the entrance to the backyard and everything, and over here is where I'm going to have a small crafting area. I wanted to leave it as stone because I was going to make like an open forge, but I decided to close it up just for not having to deal with mobs sake. And I also ended up putting stairs over here that leads up to the second floor that looks a lot better than how it did before. And for now I just put all of my chests in this section, and it's very disorganized of course. So once I have the storage house built, I'm going to put everything way more organized, make a ton of chests, and hopefully try and finish that in today's episode. It'll probably be a lot of time lapses if I'm being honest, but I'm going to try my hardest to talk through some of my processes in sections. So I'll start talking with the basing or the flooring, and then as I move on up to the roof, etc., I can explain more there. I'm super excited for today's video. I don't know how long it's going to be, but I'm sensing it's going to be like a 30-minute video. I'm going to just jump right into building. First, I'll work on the details on my house and we will move forward from there. So I hope you enjoy these little time lapses that I will be putting in the video. So I just finished detailing the outside of my house, and I'm gonna give you a little tour of what it looks like. This is the entrance. I tried to stay consistent with the items that I used. These shutters up there are modded shutters, and they are from the Macaw Furniture or Macaw Windows mod, and so are these window panes. They're really cool, and I love how they look, and they're a lot less clunkier than using fences or regular trapdoors as shutters and things along those lines. So I really like how they look, and I just added these all throughout the other windows on the sides of the house and also above it in the roof area. I finally separated this one pillar of cobblestone because it looked really weird. The house technically ends here and then it starts the backyard, and I also used this oak curved gate to be the gate towards the back, and I started adding some stone flooring with the grass blocks because I want to make this a crafting area and where I will potentially put my horse for the time being until I build a proper barn somewhere over here. I used barrels as some of the borders around the door, and I really like how it looks. I think it adds a bit more texture and it gives it a little break from using a ton of spruce blocks and spruce trapdoors in one area. And on this side is the forge entrance. I still have to figure out how I'm going to separate this, and I do have an idea of how it's going to look like, but for now it's kind of just open until I start planning the inside layout all over again. There are also these parapets that come with the Macaw windows, and I think they look really good as a sort of upside down stairs replacement. It kind of spaces it out a bit more with just using a spruce trapdoor on top of the parapet, and I like it a lot better. I still have to get some more iron because I want to add lanterns all over the place. And I also need to make a copper rod for lightning so nothing explodes, because I really love how my house looks and I don't want it to burn down. And I almost forgot, I have this sooty chimneys mod that adds this really cool feature for different chimney blocks, and it gets dirty over time. I can show you guys what they actually look like. So they have different versions. There's mud brick chimneys, cobblestone chimneys, and stone brick ones. And they also have these tiny ones. I think one of the cooler features is also that they get dirty over time. I think you can control how long it gets dirty. These got dirty pretty fast, but I like how they look. Now that I'm done with the details on my newly renovated house, I am going to put my focus back onto the storage house that I will be building or starting to build in today's video. I'll see how much time I have to actually commit to this. If not, then this will be a two-part thing because it is going to be a bit tall and I'm going to need a lot of resources. I will leave the inspiration for this build up on the screen for you guys, and this won't be the only build in this area. I want to build a windmill and other farm-like or country-like buildings you would see, maybe even a stone wind turbine, which I don't think really makes sense considering I'm basing this off of the medieval times, and I don't think they had that back in the day. I could be wrong, I'm not really sure. Some of the blocks that I'll need are calcite, deep slate, tough, stripped birch planks, and diorite stairs, or diorite blocks to make diorite stairs. And of course, I'll be using spruce in there as well. But for the main bottom part, it's going to be a lot of the lighter colors, and the roofing will be made up of the deep slate, tough, moss, cobblestone, etc. So I finally have the skeleton built for this storage house, and I won't be filling in the inside in today's episode. I really just needed to figure out how I wanted it to look, and I did end up changing the size of this. I just took it in at the sides, just one more block in, and I also added this little side part over here for a bedroom and crafting area if I need to just sleep here. I imagine I will be doing that because I'm going to be doing a lot of sorting for a couple of Minecraft days. I did some mining, I got some diamonds, and it literally helped so much with the process of building this whole place. Otherwise, I would have had to make a ton of stone, not even iron because I don't have too much iron, stone tools, and that would have been a headache. For the rest of this video, I want to do some texturing on the house. As you can see, I just use a ton of cobblestone for the actual bottom part. I want to change that out with some regular stone, andesite, and tuff just to give it a bit more texture. I might not use the tuff. I think I'll keep this for the roof once I start filling that in. But I do want to add some stone, andesite, stone bricks, pretty much any stone variant. I think I'm gonna make another diamond pickaxe because I have enough diamonds to spare. I don't know if I should repair it because it's going to just use levels. I don't even have a anvil to do that. Oh, and I also decorated the attic area. I used these macaw window curtains and these curtain rods that came with the mod as well, and I think it looks so magical. It's giving medieval vibes. I feel like they had a lot of drapes during that time, and I think this fits 100% and I absolutely love it. We're going to make another pickaxe and I'm going to put my old one away. I also decorated the bottom of the house and I think it turned out so cute. I added my flower petal rugs again, and the kitchen got a huge makeover. It's a lot bigger now and it looks so adorable. I also moved all my pets inside, so I'm sure they're very happy to be in here. And I figured out how I wanted to separate the furnace crafting area from the living area, and I just used some spruce and oak trapdoors, and I have a spruce door that leads into the other part of the house. I have a brewing stand, blast furnace, a couple of regular furnaces, crafting tables. This workbench is really just for decoration, but it looks nice. And I also have these little chimney items that make it look like it is going out towards the chimney on the outside, and I think that's a really nice touch. Now on to some texturing. I want to try to get better at texturing, especially in my forever world, and I'm going to try my hardest to not go overboard and have it make sense. For the texturing, I didn't have a set plan of how I wanted it to look like. I used a lot of free cam to back up and get a broader view of the whole bottom half of the storage house, and I loosely followed along the texturing in the picture that I showed while I was building the actual skeleton of this earlier in the video, and it had a very unique way of shading and coloring, if you want to call it, in the actual structure. So I went with that and tried my best to mimic its way of shading, and I used that all throughout the bottom half of the build. Now for the back side, I'm going to just follow the same little system that I've been going with, and I'm also going to add some more upside down spruce stairs underneath some of the pillars because I think it makes sense in terms of structural integrity. Honestly, I don't know much about architecture, but I'm gonna pretend that makes sense. I also saw in a video and they were using tough dirt under pillars like this, and it makes it look weathered, or rain ran down into the wood and is pretty much just in the stone blocks, and I think it gives a cool weathered look. I've been debating if it looks good from the front, but to the side I added it under these 3 stairs that I have over here holding up this one pillar. If you zoom out, I think it looks pretty cool. I feel like it's a bit harsh. I feel like I have to incorporate more cobblestone around it because I think this one looks really good, but the middle one looks really harsh. Going to eventually do an arched doorway for the back, but for now it's going to stay as cobbled stone until I take some time to do like a long play version of doing the small details of the build. And I think I'll save the next episode for working on the inside. I may do the roof in a long play, but who knows. I'll see if I'm feeling up to it. I'm going to do mossy cobblestone for this side of the house first because in my head the wall hadn't been built yet, so most of the blocks surrounding it has been exposed to the nature, and I think it would be cool to add more weather textures like mossy cobblestone, maybe even more tough or something like andesite, and I think it kind of gives the builds a little story of how long it's been there. And speaking of how long, it's been 189 days in this forever world. I'm very happy with the pace that I'm taking everything. I have been having such a blast playing on this world, and I'm glad that you guys also like this series. I do quite a bit off screen, and I think that's what keeps me interested, is that I can play this so much without having to show you guys much of anything, and all I really need to do is give an update if I did do some stuff without recording. This is honestly the most fun decision I made for a Minecraft world, and never want to lose this world already. There's so many new things that I have yet to explore, and I can't wait to show you guys that. I'm hoping that I can create a story eventually for some of the areas that I will be making and all the plans that I have. I feel like I'm eventually going to change this side house or maybe add on to it because I'm very tempted to add a tower just a couple blocks in from the roof. So maybe starting from here, it could be another section on top with a window. I think that would look cool. Or maybe it'll just be too much. Let me know what you guys think. I'll only know if I actually build it, and if I don't like it, I can always just tear it down. But everything is looking really, really good so far, and I'm so happy with all the progress that I made today. I can't wait to do the decorating and more detailing. I absolutely have fallen in love with doing details on my build and trying to make it a bit more realistic in terms of quote-unquote structural integrity, like pillars and its support beams and all of that cool, well, maybe boring stuff. And I think the very last thing that I'll do is add some sort of fencing around the stairs that I have put up in that area. And I'm just going to do it out of stone brick walls for the moment. And I also want to go in later and add some more stone around the build. I've had my cat standing by my side in case creepers decide to visit, but thankfully nothing has happened. Alright, I think that is all for today's video. I have a lot to fill in and honestly a lot more resources to collect. I would also like to put some more thought into how I want the top part of the storage house to look like, just so that I don't end up changing it completely in the next couple of episodes. I would like to avoid that this time. But I am very happy with the progress that I made today, and I hope you enjoyed watching. I want to give a huge thank you and shout out to my YouTube channel members. You guys are so amazing. Thank you so much for supporting me a bit extra, and thank you to everyone just lurking, watching, commenting, or keeping the video playing on in the background. I appreciate you all so very much, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye!